Religious stories carry spiritual meanings. In this good RE lesson, infants get actively involved in Muslim storytelling. They're already familiar with more than one religion.
Today's faith story. Well, it's not a Hindu faith story. It's not a Christian faith story. Who recognises that? Jocelyn. Islam, yes. It's from the Islam faith. Long ago, in the hot desert land called Arabia, there lived two men. Now, these two men lived in a city, and the city was in the desert. It was surrounded by desert. And they were both very, very rich. Now, one was called Abu Bakr, and the other was called Umayyah. Now, James is already dressed as Umayyah, so I think we'll keep him as Umayyah. And I think, Joe, would you like to be Abu Bakr? So, how would you like to wear that, Joe? Okay. All right then. So you sit there. You might need to move around. So Abu Bakr and Umayyah. Now, Abu Bakr was very kind man. And he was very good. What sort of face would you give for a very kind person? Can you show me on your face? Looking very kind, smiley and thoughtful. But Umayyah was very mean and cruel. Oh, what sort of face would you give for a mean, cruel face? Oh, Charlie, yes, absolutely. Well done. Now, Abu Bakr, he spent all his money helping other people. You were very kind. You went around helping other people, making sure they had everything they need. But Umayyah kept all his money to himself. You show me. Scoop up your money and you're keeping it all to yourself. Okay. Now, Umayyah, he owned houses and land and camels, and he also owned lots of slaves. Now, who can tell me what a slave is? Milo.
It's somebody at work for me, like a servant.
Yes. Are they paid, the slaves? Are they given money? No. Now, one of his slaves was a man called Bilal. Can you manage that, or do you want me to do it? One day, Umayyah gave Bilal a whip. He stood up and he gave Bilal a whip and he said, "Go and whip that slave over there."
Me?
He keeps shouting, "There is only one God," and there isn't. He keeps saying, "Everyone's important," and that's not true. So Bilal went across to the slave. Stand up, slave. Bilal said, "I can't do this. I cannot whip him." So look at the slave and shake your head. You can't whip him. And he put the whip down. And he turned. Bilal had disobeyed Umayyah. Because Bilal began to believe that the slave was right. He thought, do you know, I think he's right. There is only one God. And so Bilal began to say, "One God, only one God."
One God.
By now, Umayyah was furious. Stand up and show us you are absolutely furious. Okay. Now, Umayyah was so angry that he ordered some of the other slaves to make Bilal lie down on the sand in the very, very hot sun. And he tied rope to his hands and his ankles and he laid them down, and in the ropes he banged the pegs in to keep Bilal still. So could you pretend you're banging some pegs in there for me, Scarlett and Olivier and Milo? Imagine Bilal there on the ground, pegged out. with that sun coming down. Even though Bilal could hardly breathe, he still whispered, "One God only." This is where Abu Bakr comes in. So up you get, Abu Bakr. So Abu Bakr comes along and he sees Bilal. He couldn't believe that anybody could possibly treat another person like that. "What is going on?" he said to Amaya. "No one, not even a slave, deserves to be treated like that.
Bilal was my slave.
I will do whatever I like with him.
I will do whatever I like with him.
If he stops believing in one God, I will let him go." Abu Bakr then said, "But I believe in one God as well. Go on, you can buy Bilal from me." And that is exactly what Abu Bakr did. And he very gently lifted the stone off his chest and very gently lifted Bilal up. What do you think he gave him as his first possible drink? Water. So he gave him some water. Then they said, "We think we ought to build a place of worship." Can anyone remember what a Muslim place of worship is called? A mosque. Well done. They decided they were going to build a mosque. And when they built the mosque, they said, "How are we going to tell everyone when it's time to say prayers?" Shall we ring a bell?
Yes.
Go on then, ring a bell. No, they decided not. They didn't want a bell. "Shall we blow a trumpet?" they said. "Shall we bang a drum?" they said. No, they decided. What we need is somebody, we're going to use a human voice who can call out to everyone, "It's time to pray." Who do you think they chose? What was he called? Can you remember? Bilal. And after that, they decided that they would then, every time that it was time for prayers, they would have somebody calling people to prayer. We all know what a jigsaw puzzle is. We've made a puzzle of this story, but it has no people in it, because part of the Muslim belief and the Muslim faith is that you don't draw particularly the holy people. So there are no people in it. But there's a scene and there are objects from the story. There are 6 puzzle pieces in this classroom that I've hidden. I wonder if you could find them and bring them to the carpet. So very sensibly, just go around, and when you find a piece, come back to the carpet. Now, there's our picture. What can you see there that was in the story?
The sun.
There's the sun. What else can you see, Beth?
The big heavy rock.
The big heavy rocks. The rope, yes. What else? What's down in the bottom corner here?
Brushes.
Why would there be brushes?
So the slaves can sweep up.
That's right. So that reminds us of the jobs that the slaves had to do. We're going to work a bit like a puzzle. We're all going to do different activities, but all those things are going to come together to help us understand more about the Muslim faith and understand that story really well.
The story, the jigsaw, and the children's group activities build up understanding of the religion naturally. The teacher unfolds the lesson in 3 stages. Storytelling leads on to purposeful teamwork, which leads to the 5 creative activities. The teacher has planned the learning really carefully.
John, is this your tower? So where's Bilal going to stand? To make sure everybody in the city can hear him. Right at the top.
My Bilal's up here. Look at my Bilal.
Milo, John's trying to talk to you. So John, what would Bilal call out? Pretend you leave him there so it doesn't fall.
It's time to pray.
It's time to pray. Now Emma, so press that up to record. Okay. Then press, that's it, then press one of those.
It's playtime now.
Now press on, put it on play. Press again.
It's playtime now.
Well done. Okay, so that's yours. And we've got Olivier saying there is only one God. Now think about, what would you say if you were the person calling someone to prayer? Oh, it says in a big voice then. It is time to pray. That's a really good one. Can you shout it to Emma? Right, do you think you can write it down and then you could record it? What's Bilal feeling there? Confused. So tell me about that. What have you done there to show it's confusing?
His brain's going all over the place.
His brain's going all over the place. He's absolutely, I'm sure he is feeling very confused, isn't he? I think that's a really good bit of feeling there. Gregory, what about you? That's the confused as well, so all over the place. What about Dylan? Relieved. Why is he feeling relieved, Dylan?